name is Tsizgorich, and this is my Smart Exemplary Educator Program application. I just want to take a couple minutes and show you a few things that I try to do to make learning fun, as well as how I incorporate my smartboard into my everyday instruction. One thing I love to do is to have fun themes throughout my lessons, or even just animated icons so the students walk in, they see fun flashing pictures, they get in their seats, they start working, and they start learning right away. Another thing I love to do is to have the notes pre-typed, ready to go, up on the smartboard so I can do more walking around instead of just standing up here writing things down. So the students can come up here, show some work, and then try to find the answers, or I can show or tell them where they are, and they can reveal the answer themselves. One way I could just have the answer hidden behind objects. Another way, I could have some objects disappear and magically reveal the answer, which for number 1, the two roots would be -6 and 0. Another tool that I love on my smartboard is my shortcut to my TI-84 calculator, my Smart View calculator, using this math toolbar. So if I want the students to graph this equation, they could use their handheld calculators at their seats, and I could use my Smart View calculator. So if I go up here and in my y equals type in my equation, which was -2x squared plus 12x plus 4, I type that in, and if they get lost at any point along the way, they can just follow my key press history and type in the same buttons I did to get to the point where I am. Then I could graph it, and if students in the back need to see it a little bit better, I could make the large screen up there, and we'll see that it's a nice parabola. I could then take my graph and drag it into my smart notebook and manipulate it, change the size, and then answer the according questions that I have up here about this graph that I just made myself. Another graphing tool that I love to use also in my math tools is the graphing wizard. I'm going to use a Cartesian plane, and if I just take this and scoot it over here, I'm going to graph this inequality. So I know since it's less than or equal to, I'm going to shade below because it's less than, and I know it's going to be a solid line when I graph it. So my y-intercept is 4. At 4, I can just double click and a point will appear. Then I can use my slope to go down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, and I can keep doing that, and then use the line tool, draw the line. Then put arrows on there, and since I have to shade below, I could go back in here to my line style, and let's change it up a little bit, change the color, maybe change the thickness a little bit, and make it a little bit more transparent so we can see the graph still through, and I will shade below. Another feature that I like to use a lot is the screen shape, because like I said, I have my notes pre-typed up here, so then I can reveal as much or as little as I would like to throughout the note process. And I also use a lot of pool tabs throughout my notes. So if I use that and I'm asking the students to find P of 2 using that function, they can go ahead and do the work on their notebooks, while I can use my magic eraser tool, and magically the work will appear when I move the magic eraser across it. Then I can keep going with the work and ultimately end at my answer, which is 0, and I can use one of my fun pens and circle my answer P of 2 equals 0. Another tool that I love to use is the random group generator. If I have the students working on a worksheet or even on a review game, I can put all the students' names in here. So let's say this was my class of students. I could then pick how many groups I want. Let's say I want 4 groups, and then generate. And just to switch things up, just so they don't get excited that these are their groups, at any point I could say, all right, I'm going to regroup 3 times, and now these are your new groups, and then they would change their seats accordingly. Another thing that I like to do is play a lot of review games using the smartboard, and the students love it. They love coming up here and writing on it and interacting with it. This one game I made up incorporates the chalkboard ledge, and the students actually coined the phrase this year that it's like classroom curling, like the Olympic sport curling. We push the chalk eraser down the chalkboard ledge, and the questions are represented by animals here. So let's say they pick the snake. I would click on the snake and have it linked to a new page. the problem would be up here. I would have a timer indicating how much time approximately they would need for that problem. I can go ahead and start the timer. When they're done, we can stop it. They can do the work up here, and whichever team gets it right, then we can do a quick link over to their scoreboard. We can add the scores, and then a quick link back to the game board, and we know not to use the snake again, and then we can use a different animal. Another tool that I love to use, or a little activity that I sort of made up, is throughout little activity or review games, or if we just have a spare minute or two, I put a picture. This one is from a specific movie, and as the students get math answers right, they can come up here and use the eraser and erase portions of the picture. So as they get them right, they come up here and gradually, slowly but surely, they start erasing the picture. So this one, they might guess is from The Lion King, and then down here at the bottom, they could see if they're right. They could write The Lion King. We could recognize it as text, and then put it into this box right here, and if they got it right, it would say good job. If they got it wrong, it would say try again, and it's just a fun little activity that the kids like to do. So thank you very much for considering my application, and I hope to hear from you. Thank you.